All right, time for CSS Battle. We have an information icon today. Let's start with the way people new to CSS Battle would do this. They would select the body and make it deep blue, but they would have to say the word background first, because that's required. All right, then we have a donut, a circle, and a bar. That sounds like three elements to me. Yeah, let's do it that way. All right, there's our three elements. The first one, we're going to do this outline. Actually, we may want to nest some divs inside some other divs. We'll deal with that in a minute. We're going to do the donut first. So we're going to say div as our selector. I'm going to get rid of two of these because it's just confusing to me. All right, we're going to say div as our selector. We're going to say border radius, something big like 9 inches because we want to make it a circle. We're going to say border 30 pixels solid, the green color. We're going to say margin 20 auto. We're going to say height 150 pixels. Margin 20 auto is not going to work. We're going to need 2070, something like that. Refresh to load our extension, turn on the diff. Our top margin isn't enough. Let's try 30. Too much, I think maybe 25. That looks right. Height is not enough. Let's try 200. 190. And now the sides aren't quite right. 75. Nope. 65. Nope. 60. 68. 67. 66. 67 looks best. That's a weird value. I have little confidence in that. Okay. Inside that div, we have two other things. I'm saying inside because that's the way I'm thinking about it. You say display, flex, and flex direction column. And then I'm going to put inside that div a div. And I'm going to close it. And I'm going to put another div. So now we have, whoops, that's not what I expected to get there. Div. Div. Okay. Now we have two balls in there, which is kind of cool. That's what we want. Well, we want one of them. Let's select what I think is the top one by selecting a child div selector. And let's put an outline on it. Outline 1Q solid blue. Well, blue's a terrible choice. Green's red. And that's going to pick them both, unfortunately, but that's okay. So for the one on top, we need less borders. Let's say border width 20 pixels. Is that the right? Does that give us the right height? No. So we also have, let's try margin 0. Okay. We have a lot of margin on these. Okay. 30, 20. 20 looks right on top. These things are going to be equal size right now. Let's go ahead and select our other div. Whoops. Div. Let's say outline 1Q solid yellow. Oh, that's not going to work. We need that. Okay. Here we're going to say what are we going to say? We're going to say height is 100 pixels. And is our flex box messing with us because we're equal? Probably. That's probably the problem. Yeah, that's probably the problem. Okay, let's not do that. All right, now this thing, height 0, margin 20 and 100. Not quite. 80, 70, 75. That actually looks right. Then on this one, we want border radius 0. Height is too much. Let's make height 70, 60, 50. And is it too wide? No, but it's not quite up enough. Let's make margin on this 10. That didn't help. Minus. Okay. And then let's make this 60. And get rid of the outline. And get rid of the outline. And let's see what we have. That should be a match. That is a match. Let's get rid of the outlines that we don't need. And let's just unit replace, minify, submit, printify, ununit replace. I only think we got one unit to swap. That's okay. Yeah. Now, last couple of days I've been just replacing div statements with paragraphs, and ta-da, it works. I don't think that works today. So if I replace div with p, replace all, that breaks some stuff. That's because it assumes, why do I have 4? Oh, that's why I have 4. It assumes that paragraph tags can't be nested. So the DOM representation here in the extension is showing 4 paragraphs tag when 4 paragraph tags when I only actually defined 3, but I nested them, which is confusing to it. So it doesn't know what to do with them. So let's get rid of those and quit that. All right, now I only have 3 paragraph tags, but it still doesn't work because the other ones are way off screen. So this one's going to have to be margin minus 120 minus 220. Where is the thing? Oh, and this selector won't work. That's one of the other problems. That selector no longer works because we are doing paragraphs now. All right. There is the thing. It's, well, one of the things is kind of in the right place. It's not the one I need. So let's go 120. Now we're getting closer. Okay, minus 130. 5. Nope, 131? No, 33. 132 might be right. Uh, why is that? Oh, okay. Things are out of sorts a bit. My upside is my downside and vice versa. Okay, let's go ahead and move this up some more. Let's margin 0 that for a minute. And let's move the dot up some more. So 180, 150, 80, 210, 220. Getting close. 172 is what I meant, and 225. That looks like it's the right spot. Now, the other one has gone off screen high, so let's bring it back down. Let's say 150. Not enough. 200. Getting closer. Let's make that one 172 also. No, 1720, 172. Let's make this 210, 220, 230, 235. That looks right. So last solution was 216. Well, last solution minified was 216. This one minified and unit replaced is going to be 201. So we saved some characters. Still, we're doing it kind of a very traditional sort of way. I think that there are some other interesting ways to do this. So let's start down that path. So I don't use gradients typically when I'm doing the kind of obvious new player sort of solution, because gradients, when I first started doing this, I struggled with gradients because gradients are kind of all or nothing. Either they're working or they're not. You can't, it's hard to adjust them because every time you get them out of sorts, they're broken. That may be the experience today as well. So I'm going to start by selecting ampersand, which is going to select my HTML for me. So it's selecting this thing in my little DOM model here. I am going to make it have a background, but it's going to be a radial gradient, and it's going to go from blue to green to blue. We made a working radial gradient. Now it's wrong. Everything about it's wrong. It's not a circle. It's an ellipse. That's because the view box, its background size is not square. It's rectangular because the viewport's 400 by 300. So we're going to use 1Q as a aspect ratio to say that we want the height and width to be the same. Then this is going to be something like, I don't know what it is, 70 pixels. So we're going to create a big blue circle. And then this one's going to be something like 090 pixels. So we're going to create a green circle. And then the last one doesn't need anything because we said what our aspect ratio is. Okay, our circle's wrong. That's okay. This number needs to be more like 100. And then this number needs to be more like 130, not 1300. Okay, both still wrong, but closer. 95. That looks right on the inside, and then 125 for the outside. Okay, that looks like the right circle. Now, we need the eye. I mean, wouldn't it be fun if we could do this? And then just scale it up a lot? So that's by default, we're getting a serif font. We would need something sans serif. We would have to follow font, whatever the right font for this thing is. It's a fun idea. Using the period for the dot's also an interesting idea. Or a LI, a bullet from an LI. I've seen that one used as well. Anyway, we're going to select start, which is going to select our body. And we are going to put an outline on it because I like to do that so I can see what I'm working with. Outline 1Q, solid red. There is the body. So I'm going to margin the body. Margin 50 and 170. Both wrong, but getting closer to what we need. So I'm going to have this be 80. Nope. 75. That looks right. And 175, 180. That looks like the thing that I was trying to do. Yeah. Now, we need inside this box to draw a circle and a rectangle. How are we going to do that? Well, I have a background here. If I copy this background down to my body, I get nothing. That's because it's drawing a circle, as it should, but it's outside its edges. The size of the circle is making it outside its edges. So what if we made the blue part of the circle 0? Then we would just get the yellow part. Okay, that's handy. Now, what if instead of it being 125 pixels, it was something like 30 pixels? Too big. 20 pixels might be the right size. And then could we say, don't know how I want to do this, 0 and let's say minus 15 pixels. 55. Okay, now we have the thing in the right place. Now we can say border bottom 80 pixels solid this color, which kinda works. Let's try 90. Let's try 100. That actually looks like it's working. Okay, so we have a solution. It is, if we minified it, it's fewer characters than our other solution, but we have this background that we're repeating. Basically, kind of repeating. We're changing a bunch of numbers, but we're repeating. So the easiest way to deal with this is to use variables. So if we wanted to use variables, what we could say is we could say var, and I'm going to call this I for inner, is 95. And then down here, I'm going to say I, nope, minus minus I, is 0. And then I would have to come to this next one, which is, I'm going to call this var, O for outer, minus minus O. It's not really the outer, but I'd need a character. And down here, I'm going to say minus minus O is 20 pixels. And then I need one more outside that's basically var. I can say 0 var. For instance, I'm just going to say D for distance. I don't know. I'm out of ideas. And it's going to be 0. And then down here, I'm going to have minus minus D is minus 55 pixels. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to let this one inherit, which is going to give me that back. So what I'm doing is I'm saying that the background now applies to both the HTML and the body. But when the background gets to the body, instead of evaluating these numbers, evaluate the variables that I put down here. So this one becomes 0. This one becomes 20 pixels, and this becomes minus 55 pixels. So I've rewritten that gradient when it gets to the body to look like that. Okay. Now sometimes we can cheat. I'm not going to be able to completely cheat on this one because I have a 0 here that needs to get evaluated something. There are ways around this, but I need this to go to 0 and this to go to 20. So what is 125 divided by 20? 6.25. Is that the way I want to do that? Maybe. All right, so 125 pixels, let's get the little extension out, is the same as, where is M? There it is, 7.8 M. Now, I'm going to say font 62.5% right here. Now I'm going to erase this and it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. Because that's wrong. 6.25, I'm doing it wrong. It needs to be less than that. Okay, I'm just guessing numbers, but it's working. 15. Not quite. 16 looks pretty good. Let's see if that's a match. Back end didn't work. Doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means there was a error. Yeah, it's happy with that. Okay. The other thing that we need to do is we need to make this 95 pixels go to 0. To do that, we could use LH potentially, 5.28 LH. And overwrite this I. And then we would have to say /0. And then we can get rid of all this var stuff, but still, while making our gradient work, just keeping the one variable for the offset. And we're down to 163. You check colors. These are pretty saturated colors. On white, if we need blue, that's 9 away. If we have blue and we need yellow, that's 7 away. Those aren't going to help. We can unit replace. I might save something. Nope. Those are LHs. Those are Ms. This is 55 pixels. Can that be a Q value? Let's see. 58Q might work. Looks okay. 75, can that be 20%? Nope. Oh, we're on the body, so it's not. Okay, 25, 30, 28, 27, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Is it getting better or worse? I can't tell. I don't know. Let's go to 15. 17, 18, 19, 18. It's probably 17.5. Usually is. That's not going to work. All right. Let's go back to what we had. Yeah. I'm going to call that one. I thought I had better than that at one point. Anyway, that's what I have for today. It's not great. It's okay. It's okay. Minify, submit, verify. That's it for today. Hope you're having fun doing this. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.